Hello, everyone. This is part two of our discussion on the different blended learning models. Um, Another strategy also, the blended synchronous and asynchronous online course delivery that I'd mentioned. Blended learning is much more than a convergence of face-to-face and this is the one I'd mentioned to you that a literature also say that pwede siyang rotational in nature, face-to-face, and then separate ang online. But in this diagram, this will actually tells us from the different models that I presented in the prior slides, we can boil it down actually to six common models. And the flipped classroom and very specific model is a 1 hour asynchronous or 2 hours synchronous. That is for a 3 unit or a 3 hours lecture class. No, you can do that 1 hour synchronous or the 2 hours asynchronous. You can do also guided laboratory 3 hour synchronous that students or groups also work independently. So there is technology there. This is 3 hours synchronous. Um, Another that we can do also is the integrated lab time. 1 hour synchronous, 2 hours asynchronous, final hour synchronous. We can actually do this in the online in the ODL. This is what sometimes we do at Seoul office. We determine like in a 3 or in a 5 hour, we we divided our time. Like if we have a synchronous, the one I mentioned to you, bichronous, synchronous, and then break, there is a synchronous time that they can do, and then we will meet again for the final hour for the oral presentation and some other stuff to do during the synchronous activity. We can do like for capstone and independent learning, we can also do 2 hours synchronous with access to faculty support and 1 hour synchronous. It's really up to us on how we are going to divide our synchronicity or total engagement with our students. Project-based courses, suggested for a project-based courses, 2 hours synchronous and another 2 hours asynchronous, or at least equal. No, like if that is a 6 hour class, at least equal 3 hours for asynchronous and 3 hours for synchronous. Or if that is 3 units, 1.5, 1.5. The self-directed course, this is the one I'd mentioned to you, the self-pacing type of modality is a purely asynchronous, no? Purely asynchronous, self-directed, because you don't meet, especially you don't meet because the system automatically open and lock and then allow the student to escalate to the next exercise or to bar or to stop the activity within a certain period of time, according to your specified learning outcomes or objective. So self-directed course is purely asynchronous type of delivery. Okay, now let's try to boil down the so many models that I'd shared with you. The common is actually there are only four. Just to give you an idea: rotational model, rotation model, the flex model, and the self-blended model, or the self-paced, and the last one is the enriched virtual model. So flex model, I'd share that with you that students spend more time learning basic content online, and this is more into the online platform. While the self-blended model, or sometimes called as the a la carte model, give the student an option to pick and choose courses into this. And this is commonly found actually in the high school, no, in the high school level. At what that's what the study shows, which is more effective in the high school. And enriched virtual model, this is also, it differs from full-time virtual school because in this model, face-to-face is required. Okay. Now, with all of this, let us try to complicate our life. And there is a new and popular model now, which many instructional designers and strategists said that what is fitting for the COVID-19 pandemic time. And this is what they call high flex. No? High flex is a type of blended learning that combines elements of both online and classroom-based learning, but they take this as hybrid courses to a new level of flexibility. It's not an ordinary type of blended learning. It's high flex because it combines so many things: technology, the content. Remember, technology, content, and knowledge. Common mechanism into this student choice, yes, it can be because in our limited face-to-face, students can opt not to attend face-to-face. No? Can we allow in person? Yes, we can allow in person, synchronous instruction and discussion. But the question is, what are we going to do with in terms of the total engagement with our face-to-face and into our online? There are so many things to consider actually when we transition our syllabus from fully online to a high flex or to a blended type of learning in general. Many also suggest that when we do high flex type of model, we can do this. No, it's whether uh, the online component and the face to face. The number here, the percentage here are just the suggestions, but what is the literature actually? What the literature is telling us is we can have an equal distribution of our online and face to face, and in the hybrid also those challenges that I presented to you, the assessment, the preparation, are treated as one preparation. But it's really a big task. It needs so much preparation and full understanding in terms of pedagogical and instructional designing in relation to the achievement of the learning outcomes of a particular subject. To visualize what's a high flex type of learning, for fully in person, we know that students can come into the class while blended learning, they're in the class, there is a schedule that they can do face to face and at the same time with the use of the gadget, meaning both the blended part, I mean the technology, the virtual and the face to face are both in schedule. While the hybrid the hybrid is a combination of additional accessibility and platforms, like it could be mobile, uh, it is 24/7, and it has, of course, there is face-to-face component also. To differentiate that with the high flex is really more on student oriented, meaning students have the are being prioritized. It's very student outcomes or student led type of environment, unlike with the old hybrid thing is uh kung ano lang yung dineclare ng institutions is purely class based in nature, while the high flex is there is a combination of self directed learning, while the fully online is also a different story, which that's what we do during 2020, 2021. Now, let's put COVID-19 in the equation. Um, let's put COVID-19 in the equation and incorporate that in the high flex model that we know based on literature. When I say let's put COVID in the picture is let's try to understand the limitations set by our government in the limitations in relation to health and safety protocols, because after all of these, this limited face to face, as they say, as we go on, as we move forward, this gonna be the new normal in teaching and learning, the flexible learning. For us, for many institutions here, we opted to do the use of technology, the use of digital technology on how we define flexibility in our teaching and learning. Let's revisit guidelines, and let's watch and wait and see the succeeding guidelines on how we define limited face-to-face in the classroom. Who knows? It's not anymore rotational. Who knows that, like for a GE, that is possible to offer in a limited face-to-face. Like we can use rotational, we can use high flex, but all we have to do is to put all those limitations, the health and safety protocol, to the pedagogy that we are trying to develop in our classroom. So let us start the transition. No, let us start the transition. I know it was not easy last school year. I could still recall, almost every day we come to the office while the city is in quarantine. Uh, our colleague continue to train for us to be ready with the transition from face to face to fully online. We were there, and we are actually caught in the middle of nowhere, where we do not know what to start and how to start in particular. And for sure, it was a challenging journey from recalibrating our syllabus from a face-to-face that was crafted, formulated for how many years, to deliver it online, and in just few months we were able to convert that into a fully online type of delivery. Okay. um, I would like to ask the audience here, especially to those who are doing online, no, like for our university, Seliman, what is now the level of your improvement in terms of your literacy or in terms of your online learning skill? And I will switch on the poll so that you can answer. Now, what is the level of your improvement in terms of your online learning skill? Is your ODL literacy highly improved, moderately improved, with little improvement, or no improvement at all? It's nice to see that there are 24 and moving participants here said that they are now highly improved. It is really true that because of COVID-19, acquiring literacy skills or digital technology skills has been expedited, because we have to learn, no, the fast track. We have to learn the use of video conferencing tools. I could recall, sometimes we argue in I'm coming in the IT some before in our professional org. Sometimes we always argue, can we do video conferencing? But not all are adept into it, no, of having a video conferencing. But now, uh, easy na lang to have a training or to have a workshop to be delivered via live. So let me share with you the result and of the poll and share the result. And this is the result now. 56, more than half of our participants said that they are improved moderately in terms of their online distance learning skill. And I am sure also that acquiring or having this improvement was not easy. Tama? Tama ba? Tama ba, Dr. Naranjo? Sorry for calling you. Tama ba, Dr. Naranjo? Shifting from face-to-face to fully online was not easy?
It was not
You know?
easy, but with your training, we are so thankful. We are highly improved already, Doc Marshall.
Thank you, Dr. Naranjo. That's really true. We can feel here in the office, we can feel that our colleagues, no, designing the curriculum, the transition itself was not easy. From the choice of from recalibrating the learning outcomes, the choice of technology, the choice of delivery model, the choice of technology in general, with of course common denominator problem and the Miss Universe problem, internet accessibility, platform, and all of those stuff. Okay, but because of our resiliency, perhaps, as mentioned by Dr. Naranjo, we were able to survive. We just ended our school year 2020-2021. And just like any other challenges, because we did it, and there is now a new that we are going to prepare, and that is fully online to the limited face to face. It's the same transition process we go through into that. I highly suggest that let's revisit again what we did from face to face to fully online, and let's do another cycle of the transition process. Look at the syllabus and so on and so forth. Mom Alfie will give us a general things to do on how to start our preparation or our transition process. Before I will end, let me let me share with you that there is no one size fits all solution type of blended learning model. The most important thing here is we know that there is a learning outcome. We know that we have students. We know that students have option whether to go on face to face or not. We know that there is COVID, and that is actually the most challenging component in finding the best model or finding the most appropriate model that we can use in the upcoming limited face to face. And of course, I think the best solution into this is let us COVIDize our blended learning pedagogy.